This is a brief primer on a topic that we're going to be covering in detail at length later. So, in terms of the anthropology of religion, the cultural anthropology of religion, there are many interesting elements of the early Kamino Michi, the way of spirit. In our opinion, translating Shinto would be the equivalent Japanese translation of the Chinese Shendao, which translates as Shinto, and a lot of the similarities are basically in terms of pronunciation. There's two pronunciations. So, um, well, actually, no. With Shinto, if you put the possessive, the other word for Shinto is kami no michi. Kami no michi. You'll see the possessive no. The possessive, you'll see the character for spirit, possessive no, and the word for path or road, kamino michi, which means the road of spirit. You can also, the closest approximation of the possessive, you just put spirit, spirits, path, or just spirit path, but the no is possessive. So now our theory is that the early primordial Shinto is or Kami-no-Michi is the very earliest form, represents the earliest spiritual um, celebrations, the earliest spirituality before a framework even emerges into a religion. So, in our opinions, if you take a look at one of the similarities between Shinto they have a lot of parallels with Native American spirituality. And again, if you look at two spiritual frameworks, if you look at the religious system of Buddhism, Buddhism is a religious system that, again, in some manner, it's not a religion because so what's interesting is that in Japan, you have two mainstream spirituality frameworks. Both are very different from any conceptions of God in a Western context, where basically in an Abrahamic context, not necessarily Western context, because you have it's just basically Western regional. That's this kind of lame designation. So you have Islam, Christianity, but both Buddhism and Shinto have fundamentally different conceptions from the Islamic faith or the Christian faith. And one element of that is that in Buddhism, Buddha is not God. There is no God in Buddhism. In Kami no Michi, there are spirits, but there is no conception of a supreme powerful God. So again, to do Shinto, if you want to follow primordial early Shinto, you don't need a shrine. You don't need a shrine. You can go to a waterfall. You can see a mountain, and that the nature itself is the shrine. So there's a formal shrine, but elementally, how Shinto began, someone looked at a beautiful waterfall. They looked at beautiful Mount Fuji. Maybe it can happen somewhere else. If they look at Sheep Range, they admire the Sheep Range. They say, hey, this is great. And it's so great that it's kami. There it is. So that's the essence of kami, that it's something that is profoundly great in nature, something spiritual, and it can take on different meanings. If you want kami to mean a divine spirit, you can make it so. You can make it so it means like divinity or spirit, but the character in Japanese from Chinese, it doesn't translate as God in the context of either Judeo-Christianity nor of Islam. It doesn't translate as an all-powerful God. It's very important to understand that kami, the word kami, Shinto, kami no michi, is very different from it does not translate into any analogous concept to the monotheistic faiths.